Since Harry and Bess Truman lived in the White House and kids watched Howdy Doody on 12-inch black and white TVs, the Pointed Pine Quilters have been getting together in the Adirondack Mountain village of Old Forge. These days, they meet upstairs in the public library. Every week, the quilters carry on the grand tradition of turning colorful scraps of fabric into beautiful quilts. Some for practical use, others simply to be shown and admired.
I really believe that everyone should have a hobby. When you get older, the more that you can do with your hands, the happier you are.
I've been quilting since the bicentennial in the mid-'70s and haven't looked back. I've taught, I've owned a quilt shop, I've taken classes. Quilting is a way of life.
Right now we're putting stitches into a quilt. Very slowly.
If you can push a needle in and out of fabric and you're not too concerned with the length of your stitch, then you can call yourself a quilter.
Quilting goes way back in history. Part of the appeal for some of the quilters is carrying on a long and rich tradition.
Many quilters started their quilting life as a traditional quilter, making log cabin quilts, piece quilts, traditional quilts, and some have moved on to the big realm of art quilts and now contemporary quilts. And I think it's fascinating that there's a range. There's a lot of different ways to interest yourself in quilting. If you get tired of one, you move on to something else.
I'm not a quilter. I come and work with the girls on traditional quilting, but I prefer to do art quilting. I think it's so much more expressive. You get to use any kind of fiber item that you want to represent anything you want to do.
For the Pointed Pine Quilters, working together has a purpose beyond simply creating beautiful things. Each year, 2 quilts produced by the group are raffled for charity. One goes to a bustling art center in Old Forge, known simply as View. The quilters donate the other to the Big Moose Chapel, 15 miles up the road. Watching and listening to the Pine Point Quilters do what they do, it's plain that their hands and needles bring together more than just fabric and thread.
I was from a different area, and they took me in, and have been very, very good to me.
They're also maintaining a community, practicing the fine old art of give and take, and achieving moments of serenity through cooperation and friendship.
I've learned a lot of things since I came here with all of these people that have quilted forever. Yes, I've had a really good time.
We really are a fun group. Big range of personality there, but we always seem to somehow make it to the end. The most common conversations where everybody has an opinion is after we've made the sandwich, the quilting pattern itself becomes a real tug of war to settle our minds on what's a pattern that everybody will be happy with.
You get together with friends and everybody's got something in their hands, or you're all sitting at a sewing machine.
You're concentrating on what you're doing, time passes, and I don't know, you just breathe a little better.
We love quilting. Yes. Generally, when people talk about quilting, they talk about piecing or applique, or combination thereof. But that's just really the basics. Then you move into art quilts, and there's oodles of things you can do. Applique is really the applying of one layer to another. And so you've got a quilt, you've got a piece of fabric, and then you want to add another layer. And you generally do that by turning the edges under and hand sewing it down. But there are wonderful machine applique techniques that you can use your sewing machine for and obviously go faster.